So I think that's a fantastic question, by the way. And I should carry out that with the fact of uh, the healthcare system. The first thing they told me was that it was palliative care only. They told me that even with chemotherapy, they believed I would only have 11 and a half months. And I did fully accept chemotherapy and immunotherapy as part of my journey. And my initial aim, before I sort of answer your question properly, Rod, apologies, but my initial aim had been to try and increase the efficacy of those modalities of the treatments that they were offering me. The initial idea was, chemotherapy is hugely, hugely toxic to the body. It is a great tool in certain ways, but it is hugely toxic to the body. Now, I accepted chemo, but I didn't accept the first chemo they offered. I said no to it. I did the chemosensitivity testing as part of this next generation sequencing. And I used that as my standpoint to go back to them and push back on the treatments they were offering because I felt there was a better one available. Now, to actually answer your question, and apologies, I have to caveat that part first, but to actually answer your question, so I took all of my research, of which at that point I'd read through somewhere around 5,000 or 6,000 research papers, directly to my oncologist. And my oncologist's reaction when I said I wanted to look at adjunct therapies, first of all, was fantastic, yoga is great for you. And when I then said, no, I mean off-label medications, I mean looking at things like red light therapy, hyperbaric oxygen, all of these bits and pieces. And she just froze in fear and went, no, 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 no. Second after that, she went, if you go down that route, we may have to pull your care. And unfortunately, that was a running theme for the next couple of meetings with her, was every time I mentioned what I was doing, I was pretty much met with a blanket answer of do not do that. I was never met with science. I was never met with this is the reason why. I was met with no, don't do that. You'll kill yourself. So for me, unfortunately, my oncologist was not on board. My oncologist did not support it in any way, shape, or form. I had to actually go and find my own team. And essentially, and the way I like to put it is, I had to become the CEO of my own healthcare. Every decision was mine. Every decision was for me to decide on. And I was the central point of the entire sort of treatment plan. And I used each individual part. So be it my naturopath, be it my integrative oncologist, who was a private oncologist I paid, albeit my NHS oncologist, being the National Health Service, our public health system here, they all essentially ended up feeders into me as, your CTO, your COO would be in a business. This was exactly the same, but it then fell on me as the CEO to make that decision and to decide which way we were actually going based on the information they provided me. So sorry, I hope that answered the question.
No, it does. It does. It sounds like things are similar because I'm pretty sure you get the same pushback here from doctors, right? They would say that you have to follow this. This is what we're going to do. And if you go outside of that for liability reasons, they would have to pull care because their fear is that later on down the line, someone would come back and say, hey, you guys were responsible for his care and these things happened and whatever. Right. So things are similar in that regard. But what sounds very different is it sounds like you assembled the Avengers. Like you did. I mean, like you just listed 2 or 3 different oncologists. Like most of us aren't able to or going to do that. But I
think anybody's able to. I have to say, I think everybody's able to. So,
okay.
I just shot out a bunch of emails. I shot out one to Dr. Karlfeldt, who's a US doctor. I shot out one to the Hope for Cancer Clinic down in Cancun, in Mexico. I shot out one to Thomas Seyfried himself over in the University of Boston. I spoke to well over 100 people, mainly US-based, to be honest with you, who all cover this space, who all do similar things, be it naturopathy, which is natural medicine, or be it integrative oncology. And I think those people are out there. They do have online presences. You've got lots of these people, I think it's Eric Burt, who now comes up all over the place. You've got biohackers in this space who can point you at doctors, etc. It is there. It is available for people to do. It takes 10 minutes worth of research half the time.
Yeah.